Well, good morning. Yesterday, as I was doing some study and reading and some devotional engagement, I came across 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 26, and it actually grabbed hold of my thinking for the last 24 hours. 1 Samuel 10, verse 26 says this: Saul also went to his house at Gibeah, and with him went men of valor whose hearts God had touched. Yeah, that's the verse that grabbed hold of me. To be clear, this is not uh, a high point in Israel's history. The proclaiming of Saul to be king is in direct response to the fact that Israel had chosen to reject God as their sole leader and to choose to follow the path that other nations with kings were following. But this verse grabbed me. It grabbed me for these reasons. I just had random thoughts, not an exegesis or expounding on what's going on here, but my mind has just been full time thinking about this. And here's just a couple of the thoughts that have come to my mind as a direct result of meditating upon 1 Samuel 10, verse 26. And the first is this: how like God this is. He's faithful to unfaithful people. He remains engaged with people who are pulling away from him. He deals graciously with rebels. Saul was given men of valor to go with him, to protect him, to serve him. By God, though Saul was the choice of people who didn't want to follow God, God is gracious. But he supports Saul by sending men of valor with him to support him in his role as the king of God's people, Israel. Again, how gracious. And my thoughts along those lines are many, but those aren't the only thoughts that I had. Another line of thinking was this: God has men of valor. God has women of valor. He has men and women of valor at his disposal to send, to serve, to give care, to give assistance, to minister for God, unto God, helping those who labor for God and who are looking for God. God has men and women of valor who will go in the direction that God leads. They will willingly serve as he directs. Now, as I thought about that, I thought, I know for a fact that God has sent men and women of valor into my life at certain times to support me and to give me assistance in my ministry, in my labor for the Lord. There are times that I know he had individuals in my life to assist me, to help me, to care for me, to support me, men and women of valor who were answering his call to come along my side. And then I thought, I'm sure there's times that he sent men and women of valor into my life when I was unaware of the fact. That there are times that he will, he will tap a follower, he will tap a believer on the shoulder and say, would you pray for Brian? God, he is in desperate need of prayer. And men and women of valor have answered that faithfully, and I am so grateful for that fact. And the third line I thought I want to share with you briefly this morning is this. I was wondering, am I a man of valor? Have I been a man of valor? Will I be a man of valor? Somebody whom God can send to support and to serve and to help and to assist others, to glorify him as he sees fit. And if not, well, how can I move in the direction of being more consistently a man, a person of valor? Which will bring me back to verse 26 of 1 Samuel 10. Let me read it one more time. Saul also went to his home at Gibeah, and with him went men of valor whose hearts God had touched. And there it is. Men and women of valor are those who have been touched in their heart by God. That God has placed upon their heart a burden, a call, a passion to serve him and to come alongside others. And so the prayer for me today, and I invite you to say this same prayer for yourself. Lord, would you touch my heart that I might become a person of valor? Would you touch my heart in such a way that you warm my affections for you and you fuel my fire for you, so that where you lead, I will follow. Lord, make us all men of valor. Make us all women of valor. God bless.